In this video, I will share a lesson from the statistics unit called Monopoly Spaces from Go versus Rent. So this lesson is featured in Unit 8, which is in the third 9 weeks. The statistics unit is broken into 2 parts. The first half of the unit is focused on scatter plots and analyzing quantitative data. And the second half is spent analyzing categorical data by looking at two-way tables. So here, this is the 4th lesson of the unit, and it is a 1-day lesson. The standards covered in this lesson are standards 18, 19, and 20. And if I can draw your attention to standard 19, you will informally draw a line to fit the data. We will also be using a graphing technology to show students how a line of best fit is created using technology. So in this lesson, students will construct and interpret scatter plots, draw a line of best fit and write its equation, make predictions using the line of best fit, interpret scatter plots, describe patterns in scatter plots, and identify outliers. Who would have thought that you could use a scatter plot and line of best fit to model the cost and position relationship of property on this classic game board? So this lesson begins by having students plot the data. So they're looking at the property and looking at the relationship between the space from go as well as its cost. Here you can see that the students will be given a graph. We don't want them to spend time on creating the graph. The emphasis should be placed on the analysis of the data. So the graph is already set up for them. When students are finished plotting their data, then they will use the linear regression on the calculator, which can also be done through Desmos. So this Desmos link will take us to this website. This is included in the scope and sequence for you. This will save time because, as we can see here, the data has already been typed in so that the students do not have to spend time doing that. They might want to just do a quick check to make sure it looks the way it needs to, but then they will turn on this button and they will compare their graph to the Desmos graph, and then this button turns on the line of best fit. So to get the line of best fit, you would do y sub 1 and this little symbol here, and then mx1 plus b. And what we really need is this information down here. The m, so the slope for the line of best fit is 6.78, and the y-intercept is 67.2827. These are the values that we want students to compare to what they got for their line of best fit. And then they can talk about why it's best to use technology to find that line of best fit. The last piece is to do some analysis. So students will be finding the value of properties depending on how many spaces they are from 0. We're also going to talk about these points here, how they kind of stand out from the rest of the data. And if we look back at the table, those are the railroads and the utility companies, and we talk about how that could potentially affect the equation for the line of best fit. You're now going to look at the lesson and you'll get to explore the Desmos version